Welcome back to the live. This is Right Wing Rico, the single boyfriend. I want to apologize. I didn't stream live yesterday. It's that time of year, so I was a little under the weather, and I was tired. I went to sleep early. Was drinking tea, drinking hot chocolates, and I feel a little better today. I really only it was really just like a sore throat, but it's that time of year with the season change. It just comes with it. When I make these episodes, I'm really, yeah, now I have thousands of people that follow me, but initially it was just for like a couple of dozen friends of mine back in Europe. They don't have freedom of speech. So they can't talk on the internet about the things that I talk about. So they will send me articles and I'll do a live. And that way I don't have to talk to them all individually. I can just make videos and everybody can watch and I can kind of explain to them what's happening in the United States. And then in a geopolitical, I kind of tie things into one another. Like for a long time, a lot of people didn't understand what I meant when I said there was a war between the globalists like Klaus Schwab versus the Zionists, Benjamin Netanyahu. And I said, it seems like the globalists want to control the United States the way the Zionists have control, but they have to upend the Zionists. I explain this to people in a way that's easy to understand, and it does bring enlightenment, and I'm happy to do it. So now I'm finding like I'm getting emails from people, the single boyfriend Rico at gmail.com. So people send me articles and they send me things, and if I don't go live, they're like, well, where are you? Because you got to think about it. I make a lot of content. I probably do 3 or 4 of these videos a day, and I'm rather long-winded. So they're like at least an hour long. Some of them are 2 hours. I'm trying to get down to 20 minutes, but it's just not that easy. But first things first, for this episode, there's a guy named Marquett Daxon, and he seems to be perplexed by Nick Fuentes. I'll be honest, every day that I see you guys short circuit about Nick, it just makes me look at you different because Marquette is an articulate guy. I've seen him on Fresh and Fit. There's no way you can be this smart and articulate about everything, but then just go full retard and you can't rationalize because you can't get over the insecurities about being black or how you feel about yourself. And you don't want to be honest with yourself. So you can be honest with other people. You can call women whores. You can call men simps. You can talk about everything else when it comes to other people, but you can't admit that black people are overly dangerous, violent, and you can't live around them because of the implications. By the implications, I mean robbery and murder. See, I don't live nowhere near black people. I never do. That's the point of working. See, when you don't want to work, right, and you want to be a communist, you want to live off the state, well, guess who's the other people that don't want to work? The black community, for the most part. So they put them in certain areas, which we call the hood or projects. Why do you think as soon as somebody decides they don't want to be a communist no more and they want to work and take care of themselves, why is the first thing they do is move as far away from black people as possible? See, Marquette, the fact that you can't rationalize that makes me look at you funny because you know it's true, but you don't want to admit it. See, it's not what he says in this video with Nick Fuentes that's the problem. It's what he doesn't say. He never says Nick Fuentes is wrong. Take a listen.
And, look, sometimes we have racist feelings. Racist feelings like I want to live in a white neighborhood. I don't want to live in a black neighborhood. If they were all like you, obviously it'd be a different story. But when we think of
if they all were like you, okay, what's wrong with that? What he's saying is that in his life experience and from what he sees in the media and on the news, black people do not behave like Candace Owens. Her demeanor, her behavior, her accolades, how she speaks, she holds herself completely different than 90% of black women I've ever met in my entire life. I know a very small few that I can say are like Candace Owens. And I'm meeting fewer and fewer every year because the culture is going in the opposite direction. The culture doesn't tell you be a upstanding woman, have a family, get married, Be articulate, be smart, analyze, think about stuff. Get over your insecurities about being born black. See, those insecurities don't come from white people and racism. They come from your parents. Your parents are the ones who told you that you're less than and that you can't have this because you're not white and those white people over there are better. I found this out. Being Latino, I never had these issues growing up, but I have black friends. And when I would talk to them, only recently in life did I find out that their parents and their grandparents are the ones who screwed them up. Reality, most people I know from LA, for example, there's no white people. So a white person couldn't have told you these things. This came from your own family. So it's nothing to do with race. It's something to do with the people around you brainwashing you so you feel horrible about yourself. They give you a permanent excuse for not wanting to do anything. Marquett knows this, and that's why he doesn't live around black people. Watch, let's look.
A black neighborhood.
When he says, if they were all like you, it'd be a different story. By like Candace Owens, do you mean like they hate black people and they marry white people and then they pretend to just be like duplicates of white people in blackface? Is that?
I mean, Marquett, you seem to speak English very clearly. English is a white language from a white country called England. I don't sense that you speak Swahili or Zulu or Xhosa. I see you speaking English. You seem like you're well kept. You live nowhere near black people. You don't go to black events. When people talk about what is it to be black or white, to be black is no more than just making poor choices. It's more so a lifestyle than it is a people. Because according to the UN, you're not even a human if you're a color. Being black is just a lifestyle. That's why when you meet Asians who talk a certain way, act a certain way, behave a certain way, they're pretty much black. They just in Chinese face. It's a lifestyle. It's not a people. So you don't necessarily have to hate anyone to decide that you want to live a different lifestyle. When he says to be adjacent to white, that means you act like him, not just Candace Owens. See, Marquett works. Marquett speaks properly. Marquett assimilates and integrates with society. I've seen his takes, he's also pro law enforcement, which is completely against black culture. So once you do certain things, you're no longer considered black. Matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say once you're no longer poor, you're no longer seen as black. And people get money and they think I can still go around black people. No, you're no longer black. You got money now. You're white because that's what they see. It's a lifestyle. It's not based on people. So Marquett's talking about Candace Owens, but he's no different. He also believes in family. He also believes in being a patriot. I've listened to his content on different shows. Nothing about him screams black until he has to tell you this and remind you that he has these same insecurities about his appearance. He's not proud of it. So they hate themselves and then they blame it on the fact that other people don't like them. So what do you need? A hug from white? You want a white man to hug you, pat you on your head, tell you did a good job? You want him to give you a dog biscuit that says black on it? Like, what do you want? You know, the funny thing is Marquett in this video, watch it to the end. Hold on. We'll watch it to the end.
Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? Interesting.
And, look.
Owens, do you mean like they hate black people and they marry white people and then they pretend to just be like duplicates of white people in blackface? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? Interesting.
And,
last time I checked, Marquett never took on a black wife. And so, I mean, how much do you love black women? Can't be that much. So, but you think you're different than Candace Owens? You think you're better? You speak proper English, which is what most people would consider acting white. You're educated. You're a smart man. You're analytical. You're also a pragmatist for the most part. Those are all traits that would make someone consider you as being white. And again, you've never taken a wife that was black. So why do you think that you're any different or better than Candace Owens? You're not. But notice that Marquett never said Nick Fuentes was wrong because he can't. See, his insecurities and his inferiority complex, it's not strong enough to remove his logic of the logic in his brain, because that's him as a person, his mannerisms. He can't take it as far as to say Nick is lying, because if he turned the camera around and walked out of the door where he lives, you won't be able to find a black person for about a half an hour. Same with me. You can go in any direction of where I live right now. I'm about 45 minutes from the nearest black enclave. If that close, that's strategic. That's the point of working, because we understand the inherent dangers of being around people that look a certain way. It just comes with the culture. As long as he's reinforcing that culture, I can't respect him. By reinforcing it, I'm saying that basically condemning it and calling it white to not want to murder and steal from people around you and not want to be a criminal and wanting to speak proper and assimilate and be successful. If you're making that out to be a bad thing and you're basically saying that you have to hate black people to expose those traits, which is what he exposes, then I can't really respect that. You're going in the wrong direction. And then it seems like if you do have children, or if he has them now, he's passing that mind virus on to them. Now we got another generation of kids that look like him that are going to have this weird sense of danger and hate towards white people, when everyone in their world that they've ever met was killed by somebody black, but yet they're worried about the KKK more so than they are the gangster disciples or the vice lords. It makes no sense. And when somebody is not logically consistent, it's a red flag. See, one thing about me, I'm not perfect, but I'm consistent across the board. It's not like I'm the same way about everything until it comes to Israel, and then magically I'm like, I turn into the fucking water boy. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to lose money, but you can't miss what you never had. If I have to lie to get a check, I don't want it. I'd rather just sit here and talk to you and my friends in Germany and France and explain the news for free. I already work. I have a business. Fuck it. Money's not everything. I'll sit here with my dogs. I'll drink my Starbucks. I'll live around my nice, friendly white neighbors and call it a day. But I talk and do this outreach because I'm hoping it'll fall on ears that are not deaf, and eventually it will change some of the culture. And I'm not talking about black culture. I mean American culture, which is now being dominated by black culture. Too many logical fallacies when you are adopting said culture. It's not going to be consistent. I'm hoping to break that. Watching Marquett freeze up and not call Nick Fuentes a lie, it just empowers Fuentes and what he's saying. It just makes more sense. Now, I'm already a Fuentes fan. He already makes sense to me. I appreciate when people are willing to tell the truth about you, regardless of how you look. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate the honesty. Shit, I appreciate Bonnie Blue. She's honest as hell. I like honest people. I'm not going to date her, but I appreciate honest people. I hate liars. So Marquett, he's good about a lot of things, disingenuous about this. Nick Fuentes 1, Marquett 0. He just lost. So like and subscribe, share the video. Let me know if you agree or disagree. If you're like, no, Rico, I'd love to live around black people, leave it in the comments. I don't believe you. I want you to prove it to me. But never in all my years living in the United States has anybody been like, man, I can't wait to move around black people. Let me find me a nice house in the hood. Never. Ever. It's never happened and never will happen unless you just hate your kids and you hate your personal belongings and you just want something bad to happen. In that case, go ahead and move in over there. But nobody else they're not fighting over houses in the hood. That's why property values go down in black neighborhoods and they go up in other people's neighborhoods, because black neighborhoods are least desirable amongst Americans. It's not based on racism. It's based on preference. People would prefer to live around places that are safe. It's not safe around black people, according to the statistics. And statistics, I mean crime statistics, FBI statistics. And you got to understand the culture. You got to be honest with yourself and be honest with everyone. I hate to say it, but even my friends that are successful right now, I hate to think the fact that if any of them are going to be killed tonight, it'll be by another black person. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish nobody would want to kill my friends. But even my friends that'll watch this video who are black and feel some type of way, I'm saying this for you. The person who's plotting on robbing and killing you tonight, even if they don't come do it, it's somebody black. There's no Armenians sitting around talking about kicking in Ron or JJ's back door. There's no Mexicans talking about kicking in, jumping through Pookie's window. Nobody's doing that. We're bigger than them. We're bigger than everybody. It's going to be another big black person that's going to come do something to you. So feel how you want to feel about it. The truth hurts. This is reality. We have to live in it. Hopefully we can navigate and make better decisions on what we do. You know, I just lost a relative of mine in LA. I told him years ago, get out of LA. Guess what he wouldn't do? Get away from LA. Get away from people that look like us. And now he's gone. He's not the only one. He's not the first. He's not the last. I'm here because guess what? I don't live around. You know, once you stop living around black people, your life expectancy goes up an extra 20 years on average. Because think about it. Most black people don't live past, you know, a lot of men don't make it to 21, let alone 31 or 35. So if you can increase your odds to live in the 60 or 70 by just moving away from people that look like you, wouldn't you do it? You got to think about your kids, think about your future, and stop worrying about virtue signaling. Stop worrying about what other people are going to think about you, or some black fat bitch getting on the internet talking about he's this and he's that. I don't give a fuck with you. I see him talking about Myron. Guess what? Myron's alive. Pop Smoke and King Von and them are not. So that tells me Myron is doing something right. The rest of these black people are doing something completely wrong. So I wouldn't listen to them. I'd listen to Myron. Like and subscribe, and to Nick Fuentes, obviously. Like and subscribe, share the video. Hopefully Marquett will calibrate his moral compass and get that part of his life together, because everything else could be smart. If he's too dumb and his defenses are down around black people, we'll be watching his highlight reels and mourning him after his funeral on the internet, the same way we did Charlie Kirk. Like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on live in about 20 minutes. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Cheers.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.